right, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you. Hey, Hirimi. Thank you so much for the 89 months, man. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Always good to see you, dude. Girl and Geese, welcome back. Thank you so much for the 6 months. Thank you, thank you. And Stoner Gohan, welcome back. Thank you so much for the 7 months. Hope y'all are doing well. Hey, Fallen Isel. Hey, T-Par. Got a PSTV ages ago for Persona 4 Golden. Nice. Mine was mostly for Book of Memories. To be totally honest. It was mostly for Silent Hill Book of Memories. So that I'd have a way to play that and capture it. It's much easier to capture from PSTV that just has regular HDMI out, rather than getting output from a Vita, which is a little bit trickier. It's not as convenient as capturing off of like a PSP. If you have an original model PSP, they actually made like VGA out cables and stuff for it, and component out cables for it. So you had options on PSP. Vita, you had to like mod it or do it through USB, which kind of looked really bad. So PSTV, it's a good way to stream Vita games. Hey, what's up, Blush Hottie? Hey, Locomo. Hey, Shadow Noises. What's up, Nora? Catching your stream after work. Very nice. Good timing. Awesome PNG tuber from Hiroko Usuda has inspired my oldest kid to start making some of their own. Very cool, very cool. I'm sure Usuda would be very happy to know her work is inspiring others to create art. That's awesome. After playing Book of Memories, only stopped at burning the cart and not the PSTV. Oh, yeah, the PSTV is fine. The cartridge is not. The actual copy of Book of Memories is melted into a candle. I still have that, but it's destroyed. But the PSTV itself, the memory card, all of that stuff, we still have. Which is what I'm going to be using today while I do some Silent Hill 1 speedrunning. Because this is also a decent way of playing Silent Hill 1. Emulation is nice, and typically for like story playthroughs and things like that where I want the footage to look really good, a lot of times I'll just use DuckStation, because you can put on a whole lot of neat little effects and different things, make it look nice. But I'm also a fan of just the original Silent Hill 1 PS1 aesthetic without any kind of modifications and stuff to it. But I don't have a very good setup for capturing original hardware. Like, we have copies of Silent Hill 1 and PlayStation 1 consoles and PS2 consoles, but I don't have a very good capture setup for anything that's just like AV out or component out. So PSTV helps kind of solve that issue as well, because I can just play the game on on something that has a nice HDMI out. Should give you my internal Elgato. Does that have component in? Does it have component connections, or is it just HDMI and VGA and stuff? Okay. I'll have to test that and see what the quality is. Rachel's got a card that might work. Okay. I'll have to test that sometime and maybe do some real hardware runs, original hardware runs. But I'm not going to worry about that today. Today I'm just doing PSTV. Hey, what's up, Zamchi? Animated Nub is new to me and I love it. Yeah, this was a PNG avatar created for me by Hiroko Usuda, who was a member of Team Silent during Silent Hill 3 and 4's development. She did a lot of the background and environment artwork. So like all the paintings and stuff that are in the church in Silent Hill 3 and things like that. That was all Usuda-san's artwork. Yeah, shoutouts to Hiro Usuda. She also streams on Twitch. And she's a fan of the channel, part of our community. And I'm a big fan of her channel as well. Again, she paints and does digital artwork and physical artwork and stuff over on her channel live. So she's a former member of Team Silent and making art on Twitch, and it's awesome. And yeah, she made me this PNG tuber avatar. Still one of the coolest gifts I've ever heard. It's one of the coolest things I've ever gotten. To have part of my channel and my character recreated, represented by a member of Team Silent, an artist who helped to make these games that have just been such a huge part of my life. It's amazing. Really, really cool. Very surreal. But yeah, shout outs to Usuda-san. Definitely go and follow her Twitch. Show her some love. But here we are. The dreaded PSTV menu. So I did a little bit of practice last week working on the new Silent Hill 1 speedrun route. A new skip was discovered and implemented, and people have been advancing the strategies and stuff around that skip already just in the past like week since it's been making the rounds, and other runners have come in and figured out different variations on it and more efficient ways of doing parts of this new skip. So I need to practice that stuff. I need to practice Silent Hill 1 speedrunning in general. And I said I did a little bit of practice using save states and stuff on DuckStation last week. But if I happen to be practicing this and just like nail the trick and have a run going, I want to be able to submit it. So I'm switching over to PSTV, which if I do official submissions or like console submissions for the leaderboard, I would rather do it on some form of hardware rather than emulator. So I'm doing that on PSTV today. And I'll need to make some saves so that I can practice this. I need to get used to this a little bit because when I'm playing on DuckStation, I use the keyboard when I'm playing. So I'm going to need to practice this using a controller. Kind of get used to this particular controller and how squishy the D-pad is, because all of those things really make a difference when you're playing with tank controls. That's what I've got as a PS4 controller. We got like 6 of them around the house. No, no, no. It's I don't think that's compatible with PSTV. But yeah, I'm just using a regular PlayStation 4 controller hooked up to the PSTV. We've got several controllers, so if I have any issues with this one, I can swap it out for another one, but I was testing stuff and this one should be okay. Check my audio levels. Make sure everything's okay, but we should be good. If anything doesn't look right or doesn't sound right, let me know and I can adjust. This new skip works on all versions of Silent Hill 1. As far as I'm aware, it works on all versions. People are still testing stuff. There might be specific like PAL versions or specific Japanese versions or something where it may not work. But I've seen it. I know one runner running it on Japanese version who's done this. So I know it works on at least one Japanese version. I've seen several people running the North American version and have this work between DuckStation, some other PS1 emulators, and actual PS1 or PS1 and PS2 hardware. So theoretically, I think it should work on pretty much everything. We could always go through and test some other versions when we're not doing actual runs in practice. Make sure all my stuff's good here. And by the way, the timer that I'm using is a real-time timer. It doesn't really matter. Like, none of these splits matter. None of this time matters. The only thing that matters is my final time at the results screen. This is just kind of there for general information. We'll know roughly with real time how long a run will take. But yeah, that's not going to be the actual submitted time. And immediately I hit the wrong thing. Thought I was set up for easy. Set up on normal. Hey, Kazdi, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, what's up, Plywood? Thank you for the luck. Have you been working on this?
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
Doing any runs? Getting used to the new stuff? New skip?
Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
Got a 2905. Found some optimizations for Sybil. Hell yeah. I'm going into this relatively blind. I have like a general idea of kind of what I need to do. But I haven't really sat and like studied runs super closely. Like, I kind of know the little sidestep method, like 6-shot little sidestep.
What is this?
That kind of general pattern for like shooting Sybil. But I haven't really like sat and practiced it or anything. I've only got like a few hours of practice on the new skip and stuff, and that was using Ed the Rando's first tutorial. So I haven't practiced the new like variation where you go through the wall at the top of the stairs. So I'm gonna need to practice that.
Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Got a lot to learn. Workshop.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Not so bad as long as you walk into the load zone going into the bridge. Yeah, I saw like setting that up and then walking into the trigger for the load zone seems to be the way to do it. I know there is a method where you can just like run. I think I saw Bach manage to do that, where he didn't slow down and walk and it still put him on the rail where he needed to be. But I know stuff with this skip is it's gonna change rapidly as people optimize movement and stuff. I feel like it's gonna change until it kind of settles into what everybody is capable of figuring out. Because immediately, like, when I was practicing this, I started finding sort of a spot with the old method when you would, like, run back to the bridge. The old method, the method from 6 days ago as opposed to 4 days ago. But when you would run back to the bridge, I was finding a spot where you didn't have to like stop and walk to get put up onto the rail. But now that doesn't really matter with the clip at the top of the antique store stairs. So I'm just happy to have new stuff in the route. New stuff to learn. Probably not going to be great at it. Never been particularly skilled at Silent Hill 1 speedrunning, but I like to try and at least keep up with new strats and things where I can. And it's a cool skip. Hey, what's up, Ed? Thank you for the luck. Got the new variation of the skip I'm going to try to learn today. Doing some actual PSTV runs. As opposed to emulator as well. Tassadul, thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. Holy shit, dude. Tassadul, thank you, thank you. Very, very much appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much. As I just passed 2 years of streaming, wanted to give you a huge thanks to you and the entire community you've gathered. Never would have started if it wasn't for the amazing people here who unknowingly helped me get past the worst part of social anxiety. Really can't thank you enough for being an amazing streamer with an awesome community. That's awesome, Tassadul. Congrats on 2 years. And I'm really glad you were able to get into streaming. just, it's really, really nice knowing that I'm having a positive impact on some people out there. Just for hanging out and being chill and playing some video games. But I do think we have an amazing community here, and I'm so glad you're a part of it. Congrats again on 2 years, Tassadul, and thank you so much for the gift subs. Thank you so much for the love and support. Hey, what's up, Retro? Thank you. Oof. I still have such a rough time with Midwich, even after decades of playing this game. Like, in terms of enemy density, there's just a lot of narrow hallways, a lot of enemies. I need to go the other way. It's so easy to take hits and get damage here. Sky Centers want to go back and replay this game, you definitely should. I feel like if you've never played Silent Hill 1 yourself, you should go and play it. And if you've played Silent Hill 1 yourself and haven't played it in a while, you should replay it. We've got a remake on the way from Bloober Team. But it's always good to brush up, refresh your memory on the OG before a big remake comes out. When I tell you I hope we get the Demon Children, I don't think there's any reason for them to leave them out. Like, video game ethics committees and censorship, you know, back in the 90s is very different from what it is today. Whoops. So there's no reason to dance around the mumbler designs. I missed the shotgun. I went in the wrong door. But yeah, I imagine the remake is just going to be based on pretty much the North American release of Silent Hill 1, where we'll have both the childlike mumblers for the intro nightmare in school and stuff like that, and then we'll have the giant sewer rats, clawed mumblers, later on in the sewers. Sasore. Sasoraid. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you, thank you. Very much appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. We can get a shout out for Sasore. Hope y'all are doing well. We're just doing Silent Hill 1 speed things. And by speed things, I mean getting hit by every mumbler in the school. It's just RNG manipulation for the out-of-bounds skip later. How goes the speed run? I mean, this is just kind of warming up, first run of the day. And I'm just honestly setting up a practice save right now so that I can get used to doing the new Out of Bounds on controller on PSTV, because I've only practiced it on emulator so far. So some of the feeling of the controls and some of the timings on things are slightly different when running on PSTV. So we're still in the very start of the stream. First run, setting up some practice saves, getting used to playing this game on PSTV again. Been a bit since you played this game. Definitely worth a revisit. I still love Silent Hill 1 so much. Still one of my absolute favorite games to just go back and play. Admittedly, not one of my favorite speed games across the entire series. It's got a lot of stuff in it that I really like. But admittedly, like, it takes so much getting used to with the controls. Not just in terms of tank controls either. Like, I'm an old ass man. I grew up on tank controls and playing this game. But even in terms of tank controls, Harry just has a lot of, like, weight, a lot of momentum to his character. That's really hard to control. Like Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, the tank controls are very snappy. Like, your characters move and stop very quickly, very abruptly. Harry tends to just, like, really drift. Like you take off your thumb off the button and he wants to keep moving that direction. There's a lot of stuff that's just very sensitive, specific as well. Like quick turning. If you're off by just like a tiny little bit on your timing with pressing both buttons to quick turn, Harry will strafe instead. And you can kind of mitigate that a little bit if you hold walk whenever you do it. But sometimes it'll still happen. Any benefits of playing on a PSTV? Pumping out attempts very quickly, yeah. Doing runs fast, and I mean, like, in terms of in-game time, it doesn't give you any sort of advantage or anything like that. It's also just easier to capture. It's a nice, easy version of the game to stream and capture with my setup. YouTube flagged your Silent Hill Book of Memory streams and they aren't viewable in most places? That's bizarre. I wonder what flagged on your playthroughs. Because my all 500 zone VODs are all still up on YouTube. And surprisingly, those are some of the few videos on my channel that haven't been flagged. I've been getting hit by a lot of AI scammers and stuff lately, though, so a lot of my videos on YouTube are being falsely flagged right now. But Book of Memories, as far as I know, is still untouched on my channel. Okay, I'm actually going to make a save here. Let's do this one. Movement in Silent Hill 1 is very particular and not as smoothed over as Silent Hill 3. There's just weird little moments that tend to happen where I'll be like holding up and running left and right, and sometimes I get this nice little gentle steer, and sometimes Harry will just like stop moving as though I like let go of the control because my thumb slipped a little too much towards like a direction and not quite as much on up. I guess I should just save here in the drawbridge. I always forget about the save point. Yeah, I'm making practice saves right now. Police station is the best. True, you have the one in police station. I think I'm just gonna set up these. Because when you're actually doing the run, you're not really... I mean, I guess you could go into police station. I think some people do go into police station to, like, reset romper position or something. But in a typical run, you're not going to stop in there, right? And I just want to practice, like, what I would actually be doing in an attempt. So That save right there at Drawbridge is probably fine for me. Keep him on me. Oh. No, are you stuck? Come on. Jump back up here. Not quite. Not quite. Do you know about the Save Anywhere command? Only learned about that recently. I know of it. I've never actually utilized it for anything. Does that actually work in PSTV? I assume it does. Okay, well, we got that part of it. Shit. I don't think I hit walk in time. Yeah, now I'm down here. Although I think you can, there's a backup, right? Yeah. Shit. And then I fuck up the backup and fall back in bounds. But you should be able to walk back up that. That's alright. I'm just going to mainly be practicing this. In fact, I can go ahead and stop timer. I wanted to run timer just in case I managed to do it, just setting things up on a first attempt. Because you never know. But I am going to practice this for a little bit without worrying about the time running. Pause, left on D-pad, L1, L2, both sticks left, and then L3 click. Oh, L3 click. Oh, there we go. Save anywhere. Confirmed on PSTV. Yeah, it's awkward as fuck. Just doing the input. But that is useful. That is definitely useful. Oh, good call. That's very good for practicing Sybil fight. It's good for practicing a lot of stuff in general. Oh, and then I face plant into the wall. Bad monkey. I think he lost me. Not quite far enough forward. Jump down from top of the building. There we go. Had the romper get stuck out of bounds? Yeah, we had him doing some weird parkour tricks when I was practicing this on emulator last week, where he would jump up into the frame of the window on the door. Ah, even walking. I guess I was in the wrong spot. Okay. Try and at least do the backup. Where am I even at? Dude, I'm so bad at this game. Hey, Elanoof. Like a tip on the visual cue I use? No, I'm good. I just need to throw myself at it for a bit and find something that works for how I see it, you know? Because I was watching somebody else's video on like the Discord where they were trying to show a visual cue. Oh, he's not even chasing. For the part where you need to fall and hit the death plane and then teleport back up. And they were like, I used this little white spot. And like, I could not see what they were. Apparently the romper disintegrated. So like, I don't know. I feel like I have a hard time seeing other people's visual cues and things like that. I just have to... I just gotta try stuff until I find something that works for me. I just gotta grind monkey that shit. My face. All right. Got my best friend following me. What's the romper's name? Do we have an agreed upon community name for this romper? Or is he just, you fucker, please do what I need you to do? Yeah, prick. Kevin. I like Kevin. Do it. Do it. Do it, Kevin. Fuck. There's not a community name? That's surprising. You telling me this romper skip has been out in the public eye for like over a week? And there's not already some communally agreed upon silly name for everything, for the romper and for the skip? Wish to understand how does this glitch work in terms of the programming of the game? In other words, how does Harry walk through walls? We're dislocating his hitboxes from his model. But in terms of like why that's happening in the game, I am not smart enough to answer that. Come on. Oh, that wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. I thought I had it too. This is why I also wanted to try it on PSTV, because I feel like, I don't know, I've had situations that look exactly like that one on emulator, and they'll work on emulator. But then whenever I do runs on PSTV, I'll have situations like that where it looks like it's working, but then you don't actually get the clip. And I'm like, fundamentally, there shouldn't be anything special or different about PSTV versus practicing this on DuckStation, but I don't know. On DuckStation, I find myself doing runs and being like, wow, I thought that wouldn't work, but it did. And when I do PSTV runs, it's the opposite, where I'm like, wow, that looked like it should have worked, but it didn't. Just anecdotal, just from my limited experience of running this game on both for however many years. Come here. Come on. Not anywhere close. See, like that should be perfect, right? Yeah. Why is that monkey following you? That's our friend Kevin. He's just helping us leave the boundaries of existence. Because that's what friends do for each other. I keep winding up outside the rail. I'm going to need to figure something out there. I think I'm going too far up and then walking back down into it when I shouldn't be. Okay. Do I need to stay on this? Son of a bitch. I need to not fall off of it like that, is what I mean. Because sometimes you go back up and you can just sort of like walk on nothingness outside of the rail. And sometimes you have to actually stay physically above the rail. There are a few things that can act differently on hardware. The dog outside the boat comes to mind. Really? Is there noticeable different behavior on that dog? Because I feel like I do deal with that dog like chasing me down. On different versions. That's interesting. Sometimes the dog won't spawn on CD-ROM. It just doesn't spawn at all. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Come on, Kevin. Go into the antique store. Kevin, please. Why are you stopping and pouncing? There's nothing even there. Enemies not spawning might be a difficulty thing. No, even on the same difficulty, there are some situations where enemies will just, like, not spawn. One of the really noticeable ones is, like, in the sewers. The second time sewers. When you're running towards the ladder that goes up to the amusement park. Sometimes there will be a mumbler there. And sometimes there won't be. And it doesn't, like, exact same difficulty and everything. It'll just randomly be there and then randomly not be there. So, I mean, I guess there's other enemies that kind of behave similarly. Please. Hey, Tinkerbell. I think I might have turned a little too far to the right there. No. No. I thought I was closer to the zone. Well. Get to practice the backup again. See, like here, you can walk, like, the air above the rail. Parkour. Here's where we want to be. There's that part. And then this should be sewers. Now we finally got the trick, at least. Very slowly. Let's see if I actually went the right direction or if I'm in the wrong part of the void here. That angle looked very different. Nope, we're good. Sewers. Oh, for the bridge fall? See, again, like everybody's kind of figuring out their own methods and visual cues for doing stuff. I've got my own weird little way of looking at Harry's angle and his foot when I'm doing the bridge fall, so that's what I was practicing on emulator that worked for me, and it worked here, so I'm like, okay. It's not the like turn while shooting shotgun method that I've seen some people doing, and some other people have like a completely different visual cue that they use there. That's, as said, I just got to throw myself at tricks like these until I can find something that works. Find something that works for me, and then just try to drill it into muscle memory. We're all still experimenting. That's the fun part, though. This is such a fun time with speed games when something is discovered, but it's not fully like optimized yet. And everybody is still just like experimenting and trying things, figuring things out. I really like this very brief window with speedruns, because by next week it's going to be figured out and everybody's going to know exactly what to do and exactly what the method is and what the most efficient ways to do everything are. But then again, you never know. Like new tech can sometimes immediately lead to other new tech. I mean, you have another romper chase you in the streets next to Annie's bar. And I know that you can do romper out of bounds on the bridge with that romper. I don't think that you can do anything with that, though, because no other cells are like loaded in. No other parts of the map are loaded in, so you can't just run like to the lighthouse and skip the docks and the boat or something, as far as I'm aware. Imagine having to do 2 romper skips in one route. Then you get to name a speedrun tech after yourself. I don't know if I would necessarily want that. What if it's a really annoying trick? Like, there's a lot of people, like, I really like as frustrating as it can be, I like Out of Bounds and that type of tech in speed games in general. So I'm pro romper skip. I'm all for breaking games in terms of speedrun. It makes it fun and interesting most of the time. It's a big part of what got me into speedrunning in the first place. But there's a lot of people who don't like the romper skip because it's very annoying and it's very hard to do and it's very inconsistent. And if it was just like named after a runner, it's like the trick that pisses everybody off. Named after, you know, some poor runner whose name has to get brought up every time somebody thinks about being mad at that particular trick. Sometimes it can be a curse having tech named after you. Scientists name diseases after themselves? True. Can't argue with that. Oh yeah, look at that. Just the one dog. Sybil. See, we've got another romper right here. We could introduce more romper skips. Downhill 1 should just have 4 romper skips that are all janky and inconsistent as fuck that you have to do all in one round. Should be the future of Silent Hill 1. Please don't. Was watching Whitney's stream for this, her 24-hour stream, and she kept getting ganked by that same air screamer. Dude, sometimes these certain monsters, they are just, they go out of their way to be an extra pain in the ass. They get a grudge out for you. Never touch air screamers on the bridge. They're so brutal. Especially if you're on hard mode. There's a lot of sections in the game where if you hang around too long, certain air screamers, you will get the air screamer gang. where they summon a swarm of air screamers, and you usually have like, I just kind of call it like a boss air screamer, but there's one of them that's like always mixed in with the larger group of them that has way more health. Like, it takes a lot more to kill it. Giant sewer rat. Oh my god. The other giant sewer rat. That's the one that's not always there. I legitimately was like looking over at chat, thinking I had nothing to worry about. And then we got the bonus sewer rat. Okay, so because we skip hospital, we don't do amusement park skip. Where am I going? Actually, where am I going? Save point for ice cream. Ice cream save point. Although I could do the save anywhere, I guess. Be a little bit easier. Or just even remember where I am. How to get to Sybil. Like, this is the sewer entrance. I'm just trying to get used to even remembering where to run from here. I've been doing the amusement park skip for so long. And whenever I do story playthroughs, I never really worry about running directly to Sybil. I just kind of look around, look at everything, and eventually find my way there. Basically what I'm doing right now. I keep thinking it's over here, but that's that one. Here it is. Hey. Anywhere. Yeah, we're gonna need to practice this a bit. Well, that was a fight. Fuck. I need to actually lower the gun so I don't do the reload animation. One shot away? Yeah, and I would have got the shot if I had just lowered the shotgun instead of letting Harry do the reload animation. Because I had time, I just had to do it quickly. Hey, Burakauto. Everybody's doing pretty good. Hope you're doing all right. Close. Does lowering the gun reload it? Yeah. So like right here, 4, 5, 6, just holding down the button. You do the reload animation and then you start shooting again. As opposed to if you do one, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower it, bring it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower it, bring it back up. 1, 2. So you can skip that reload animation and just keep shooting. Because the lower and raise is much faster than the full reload. There's like a little delay. You kind of have to delay a little bit after the sidestep. Because I think she's got iframes that are eating that like 7th shot. I did the wrong step. Oops. Yeah. The force choke. She was so far away. Yeah, if I do a running sidestep and then walk forward, I should have lowered the gun there. But okay, I've got kind of an idea of how to do that fight. There's probably much faster, more efficient strats, but I think I'll be okay. Let's practice the actual hard part again. All right. Come on, Kevin. Not you. Kevin, please. I think I hurt Kevin. He's not moving. He's not getting up. There we go. Let's go, Kevin. Only issue, I wouldn't be able to watch Twitch on dial-up. Back in the days when it was still, like, novel to see video games on, like, TV or anything. It's like a novelty, a rarity. Not like video games featured in like a movie, like just somebody playing games in the background, but like just gameplay. Because when did like G4, Tech TV, all of that stuff start? That was like early 2000s. You could watch Justin TV as soon as it started. True. I was around for the Justin TV days. I never streamed on Justin TV. That was when I was still just a viewer and I was watching fighting game tournaments and StarCraft tournaments and stuff like that on Justin TV. And then I made my account not too long after it became Twitch TV. I made the Nub Zombie account in October 2011. Why? You were right there. Why would you stop and walk away, Kevin? How could you just walk away, Kevin? After all we've been through. Please. Tech TV was 1998? Okay. Because I'm trying to think, that was some of the earliest time I can think of, like, video game dedicated TV programming. Like, obviously there was stuff before that that was based around video games or based on video games. But there wasn't a whole lot of just, like, watching somebody play video games on TV, right? Starcade, true, Starcade. Nick Arcade, that also made me remember Nick Arcade. Which game are you going to play today? Kabuki Quantum Fighter? It was always like 5 random games and Kabuki Quantum Fighter. That was like always part of the lineup on Nick Arcade for some reason. Your username is from Justin. I'm old too, I guess. Yeah, I started my Nub Zombie account after it became Twitch. I think it was that same year, right? 2011? When did Justin TV become Twitch TV? It was around that time. And before that, I had a different username. I made a new account when I started streaming. Became Twitch in June of 2011. I made my Nub Zombie account in October. So, about 4 months later. Oh, I'm actually where I'm supposed to be. No, and then I fucked it up and ran too far forward. I'm not used to that lower camera angle. But I actually managed to walk into the right spot that time. Come on. Just found I'm a follower since 2017? Hell yeah. That's the year I got partnered. Started streaming 2011. Got partnered in 2017. And we're still here. Still doing stuff. As much as I can, anyway. I blame Kevin. Yeah, that didn't work. I just want to get this glitch, like, from start to sewer entrance one more time. And then I think I'll start doing some runs from the start. We'll see if we can actually get it in a run, even a bad run. If I can successfully do the skip, we'll be a PB by a lot. Do I speedrun all the Silent Hills? Most of them. Most of them. I speedrun 1, 2, 3, and 4. Play Novel, the arcade game, Origins, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, and Downpour. I'm still in the process of trying to learn PT. I also run Short Message. I'm still trying to learn PT. I'm still trying to learn Silent Hill 2 Remake. I need to start learning Silent Hill F. But yeah, pretty much everything else I run. Hearing that there's speedruns for the play novel in the arcade is insane to me. Since Plywood is here in chat, little story featuring Plywood as well. Back at AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick, in 2019, we actually had a Silent Hill play novel speedrun setup in the practice room. And we were just going through and getting random people to come into the practice room and learn to speedrun a play novel. And we did like a little play novel leaderboard. Oh my god, I did not mean to back hop. Right there in the practice room. That was where I got my first taste of play novel speedrunning. Was at AGDQ in 2019 at Plywood Setup. Had the actual cartridge in a Game Boy player running on the GameCube. It was a lot of fun. Best Silent Hill Ascension speedrunner I know. Next time we watch all of it, we just put it on 100 times speed. Come on, Kevin. You and me, buddy. Oh, he clipped on top of the building. Didn't work. Hey, Aronoff. What's up, Nub? So what's the new skip people keep talking about? That's what I'm practicing right now. It's pretty big, actually. Big skip. So right here, right after the drawbridge key, instead of going over to hospital, you go aggro the romper that's next to the police station and drag him all the way over to Green Lion Antiques. Have him pounce you in a very precise way as you're going down the stairs. And it basically makes Harry able to clip out of bounds. And then once Harry can clip out of bounds, we can go back to the drawbridge and perform another glitch that lets us run out of bounds all the way to the entrance to the sewers. So you basically skip all the way from, instead of going to like Alchemilla Hospital, you skip Hospital, you skip Green Lion Antiques, you skip Otherworld Streets, you skip Town Center Mall, you skip the Twin Feeler boss fight, you skip the next Otherworld Streets, you skip the Return to Alchemilla, you skip Float Stinger, all of that stuff. But the trick is also difficult to do and hard to reset if you don't get it. There we go. There was the pounce that I'm looking for. Lets me clip out of bounds here. Now we're running back to the bridge. Nub is a great play novel runner. I mean, I learned from the best. Okay, I gotta do backup strategy. But yeah, Plywood, that setup, the play novel setup at GDQ, it got me started with run and play novel. That was a lot of fun. It's one of my fondest memories from going to those kind of events. Also, we did Siren. Oh, that's right. We also did that, like, Siren IL. That was fun, too. I love that aspect of GDQ more than anything else, you know. Getting to just, like, hang out with cool people and learn silly speedrun stuff. Like, whether it's a full run or a run of a game you weren't expecting to learn, or just kind of whatever. Those little moments of just people coming together and playing games and teaching each other stuff. Best part of GDQ. I mean, the raising money for a good cause and the charity is also pretty cool too. But I really just enjoy, like, the community of it. Okay, we did the trick. We did the skip. We can definitely do that in a real run. We just gotta believe, like Parappa the Rapper says. I gotta believe. Ba-da-ba-da-bum-bum. Can of Snails. Snails, thank you so much for gifting out 5 subs to the community.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate the love and support. I don't know why my alerts are not working.
Where are you going?
I feel like none of my alerts have popped
Hey,
up.
wait! Stop.
And I know they're turned on. I specifically enabled them and switched to my Silent Hill 1 theme alerts at the start of the stream. And I feel like alerts on the built-in alert system on Twitch just like doesn't work half the time. I love the music in this section so much.
What is this? What's going on here?
Not a very good intro, but whatever. Pre-rolls are killing me. I'm sorry, Seven Seals. I wish I could change that. I legitimately wish I could just disable ad revenue on my channel. Like, I wish I could opt out of receiving any ad revenue and just choose not to have ads play on my channel, because I would 100% just do that. I don't make hardly anything from ad revenue each month.
What's that?
I would much rather sacrifice the like $10 or $15 a month I get from ad revenue
What's going on with that radio?
to just turn off ads for everyone. I wish it was an option.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
But Twitch does not give you that option. They give me basically two options. I can run ads myself, like every hour, to disable pre-rolls for people. But when you're doing speedruns and stuff, you're not always able to like break away and run an ad and do all that kind of stuff. As said, I hate this stupid ad setup on Twitch. I would much rather just disable ads and not get ad revenue. Starting to understand how that stumble animation of Harry falling like a klutz is why he survives the death plane fall. Because you can land back up on top without stumbling, and then you die. Yeah, I've seen that happen. It overrides the death animation, I guess. There's a lot of stuff. As people figure it out, I would love to know. Like, I'm not very good at... I'm not a developer. I don't understand a whole lot of how these games are put together or how they work outside of things that I've read, things that I've seen online. You know, there's placeholder images and stuff like that with developer notes that kind of give you some context of how certain things are made and how certain effects are achieved. But when it comes down to like the game logic of like, why does this animation cancel out dying and stuff like that, I would love to know all the specifics if people figure that kind of thing out. But then again, like there's so many of those things that are so complex. The same way that there's a lot of games that have like what's it called? The arbitrary code, whatever it's called, where you're basically just setting up a particular series of like things on the screen or inputs and all these things that are manipulating. Thank you. Arbitrary code execution. Thank you, Plywood. It took me a long time and a lot of videos and a lot of people explaining to me before I really even somewhat understood really what that was and like what it was doing and how it worked. When do we get our arbitrary code execution for Silent Hill? Where you just manipulate the game by performing certain inputs, picking up certain items, changing certain settings in the menu. And then you just like do a back hop, do a kick flip, and suddenly the credits start rolling. Hey, what's up, Mizzy? Love the new avatar, thank you. This was made for me by Hiroko Usada, one of the Team Silent artists who did a lot of the environment and background artwork for Silent Hill 3 and 4. She's really, really cool. She's a fan of the channel. She streams on Twitch as well, so... She made me this avatar as a gift, and it's amazing. Absolutely love it. Oh. Thought my autographs from Michael, Thessaly, and Liz were a good flex. Hey, I haven't met them. At some point, I should try to meet with Thessaly Lerner. For those who don't know, that's Lisa Garland, OG Lisa Garland in this game. But she actually doesn't live very far from me. She's a local in Atlanta. Ouch. But yeah, I never met Michael or Thessaly or Liz. They only started going to conventions and doing public appearances like relatively recently, just in the last couple of years. I think last year. I have met, I met with Akira Yamaoka and Mary Elizabeth McLean. Technically, I can say I've worked with them, but that is a relatively loose description. I was the night events director for an anime convention in Texas when I was living there called San Japan. And at San Japan back in 2014, we got Akira Yamaoka and his band to come and play for the anime convention. So as night events director, I worked directly with Akira Yamaoka and his band and his team to set up their event, to set up everything they needed for the stage, to do all of that sort of stuff. So like I worked directly with them for their appearance and their performance at San Japan in 2014. And they autographed one of my guitars for me, because I'm also a musician. So I had my guitars, me and my friend Hirimi had our instruments. We had our guitars with us. And I went and got, actually it's Hirimi's guitar, but I went and grabbed it out of our room and got Yamaoka and Mary McGlynn and their touring band to sign it. Which was Akira and Mary, and then Israel Uloa, who was their tour drummer at the time. And they had a young Japanese kid who was like standing in playing bass. He was like super young. He was like 16 or 17 or something. And it was his first time playing with them. He was just kind of like a stand-in musician for that particular appearance, but he killed it. I just don't remember his name, unfortunately. But he signed it on the guitar. I should remember it. And my wife, Rachel, she has met Guy Seehee and Dave Schofley, the original voice actors for James and Eddie in the OG Silent Hill 2. They did a fan meetup in Georgia many years ago. And Rachel went out and met them, and they signed her copy of Silent Hill 2. So we've got some cool stuff in our collection. But having, I don't know, it's hard to top. It's hard to top a functioning PNG tuber avatar made for me by a member of Team Silent. That's pretty high up there. The Silent Hill F puzzle box was cool. The fact that Konami actually sent me a gift package, the puzzle box from Silent Hill F, which with a bunch of goodies and stuff in it. Didn't know you got the F puzzle box? Yeah, I did an opening video on YouTube. My unboxing video. So you can watch me open it all up and solve it, and go through everything that came with it. That's a very cool, unique promotional gift. That is one of my absolute favorite types of video game merch. I'm not a big fan of merch where it's just like a logo or an image just kind of slapped onto something like, you know, a shirt or a mug or whatever. I love replicas. I love when they actually recreate an object or item or something from the game. So having a functional puzzle box that matches a puzzle box that you actually solve in Silent Hill F is really, really cool. And then it's also got like the fox mask and stuff that came with it. Yeah, I love, absolutely love video game replica stuff like that. The puzzle box stumped you hard. Not a fan of that puzzle. I did my first playthrough on Lost in the Fog, and I got stumped on that one too. My wife actually wound up solving it for me on my first playthrough on stream. I don't know. For me, it was so hard to tell what some of the little symbols were supposed to be. And I also just don't know. Fucking, I'm a complete dummy when it comes to plants and flowers and things. Was your first play Lost in the Fog for combat, or was it hard? Hard. Lost in the Fog combat has to be unlocked. It's not available for a first playthrough. Or at least it wasn't on launch. I can't remember if they changed that. But yeah, my first playthrough of F was Lost in the Fog puzzles, hard combat. And I did not have a good time. That game is not designed to be played that way. That game is designed for you to play on normal or casual, and then you switch over to harder difficulties after you have Omamori and stuff like that unlocked, because it's definitely balanced around that. Those puzzles had me sweating. I was fine with the majority of the puzzles on Lost in the Fog, but the puzzle box was one of the ones that stumped me, and the fox mural, where you have to place the circular crests into the mural of all the foxes on parade. I'm glad other people immediately were like, fuck the mural. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Some of the sort of like leaps in logic that you have to make to really solve those puzzles is a bit much, but there's puzzles like that all throughout the Silent Hill series, so you could say that that's appropriate, honestly.
Were you?
Complain about Silent Hill F all you want. It still didn't have anything in it as egregious as, like, hard mode Shakespeare in Silent Hill 3. Hey, what's up, fatty? This is any percent? Essentially, yeah. This is new game, easy, any percent. We're actually about to attempt the biggest skip in the run. It's very tricky, and I'm still learning it, so we'll see how it goes. Best time still what's listed on Speedrun. I've had runs better than that 34:14. But I never submitted them, and that was from before, because like I had a bunch of runs that were on speedrun.com. I deleted my old account at one point. That was around like 2020. But even my actual PB is not much better than that 34:14. I think I had like a 33:50 something. But I mean, you can tell just by watching me play. I'm like, I can run this game, but I am definitely not like a top runner. Like there are certain Silent Hill games, certain categories where I was a lot more competitive back in the day. I've had a few world records, brief as they were. Too close. Reset. That's going to be how this run goes. We're going to get to the romper skip and then see if we have a run. If it's at a point where I can reset it, like if it doesn't push me all the way through the zone, I can sit there and keep doing attempts. But if I get pushed through,
Cheryl?
that's pretty much it.
Is that Cheryl?
It's not worth running all the way back to the police station to lure the romper a second time. Just reset the run at that point.
Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
Still really impressive. Just did your first Silent Hill run at 5 hours, 30 minutes. Bad ending. Hey, that's still not bad for a first run. And if you, like, with the Silent Hill games, they're not really super difficult to really start running. Like, obviously to get to a point where you're running them at top times is very difficult. But just learning like a basic route, just memorizing efficiently where you need to go next each step of the way without getting turned around, and memorizing puzzle solutions and things like that. After just a few runs, even if it's your very first time running it,
What is this?
if your first time running it is like 5.5 hours, your third or fourth time running it, you'll already be down to like Probably around an hour, if not sub 1 hour. Just by memorizing a route and puzzles. Hardest parts of Silent Hill speedrunning most of the time is movement.
Huh. Radio.
Just trying to move
What's going
through
on
the
with
game
the radio?
cleanly. Especially in this game. Harry is... He's got a lot of momentum behind his movements. So it can feel
This is not a dream. What's happening to
a
this
little
place?
floaty. So cool to see people playing this game again because of the new skip. Yeah, it's actually been really nice. Seeing a lot of different streamers, a lot of people coming back to it. New tech and updates to the route. It'll breathe new life into the category. Because I know Bakba Soup's been running it again. Ecdysis has been running it again. Plywood's running it. Boris is running it. I mean, there's a lot of people running it who never stopped running it. They've been running it this whole time. First and second top times set in the last week. Yep, that's because of the new skip. Ed the Rando. So, like, the skip is something that a lot of runners, a lot of people in our community have kind of known about for a while. How the romper stuff works and places where you can implement it, but it was never something, the one that's being used now was previously thought to just be, like, too inconsistent to try to set up. But a couple of runners, Silent Hill PSX and Ed the Rando, were able to figure out more consistent ways of utilizing that romper skip. And Ed the Rando managed to submit a run using that new skip and the new method that they discovered. So now a lot of other runners are optimizing it, figuring out faster ways to do the setups for it and more consistent ways to set things up. So there's going to be a lot of shakeup on the Silent Hill 1 leaderboards in the months to come. Because there's a lot of returning runners who are learning the skip. There's a lot of people figuring out new optimizations for it. There's a lot of people still experimenting and discovering things. So it'll be a while before it's all, like, fully optimized. People kind of figure out what the most ideal thing, an optimal thing they can do with all the new tech, like what all is possible. But it's cool. I love this. I love seeing activity around some of my favorite games. Apparently Sandra Wayne, Alessa Sherrill herself, is attending her first con. Yeah. There's a lot of those people who are starting to make appearances because they know The popularity is popping up around Silent Hill 1 Remake. So there's a lot of attention on Silent Hill 1 at the moment. And a lot of the other voice actors have been making appearances. Michael Gwynn, Thessaly Lerner, Liz Momorsky, they've all been doing a couple of conventions and fan meetups and things like that. So I'm sure they probably have contacted other actors. They're probably the ones who got in touch with Sandra Wayne to be like, hey, fans are blowing up over Silent Hill 1. There's a remake coming out. People are requesting appearances at conventions and stuff, so it's really cool. Really, really cool. I love that they're getting a taste of, like, the impact that they've made. Because a lot of actors never really get to experience that. They don't get to see the fans and know, like, how much the work they did impacted and affects their fans. Because a lot of them just don't really do conventions and things like that. So I'm glad that they're getting to make those appearances and meet fans and see, like, how near and dear to so many people Silent Hill is. Say I grew up with these games. I did not grow up with them, but I was aware of them. I mean, I think I played my first time playing Silent Hill 1 in 1999. I was 11 years old. And even by the time being an 11-year-old, like, I was already an established little horror fan. I had played Resident Evil 1 and 2. I had played stuff like Alone in the Dark and Seventh Guest on my PC. So I was already a little fan of horror. And then Silent Hill was, when it came out, I played it with my friend, and we were so scared we didn't get past Midwich. Even as horror fans, this was something that was like a whole different type of scary compared to Resident Evil and stuff like that. It wasn't just like jump scares and loud noises. The audio design and the creature design and just the visuals and everything about it made this game feel so unique. And it's hard to describe why it makes you feel that way, like all of those elements combined. But this felt like more than just a scary game. It felt like an evil presence. Like, it felt, playing this game felt like you were doing something and seeing things and hearing things you weren't supposed to. Does that make sense? Like, that's how it felt to me as a kid. Like, playing Resident Evil was just kind of whatever. Like, it's just a scary game. You shoot the monsters. This felt wrong by comparison. Something about it was much more terrifying. And it stuck with me. It stuck with me. I was 11 when I started playing this series. I'm almost 40 now, and I'm still absolutely in love with it. Still, some of my favorite games of all time have yet to be topped. Hey, what's up, Pixel? Oh, you butthole. You hickory smoked horse butthole. Homecoming is on your shit list until the end of your life. Homecoming gets a pass from me because for a long time it was also on my shit list. But then I learned the speedrun. And it is quite possibly my favorite Silent Hill game to speedrun. Homecoming is such a good run. Again, I'm a big fan of Out of Bounds. I'm a big fan of sequence breaking and glitches. Like, I love brokenness in my speedruns. I like things to be broken in my speedruns. I don't like very straightforward glitchless runs. And Homecoming is like the perfect kind of broken for a speedrun. Where, like, once you get a gun, objects and walls no longer matter. But you can't just clip anywhere through anything. Like, you can, but a lot of times if you do it in the wrong spot, you fall and you die, and that's the end of your run. So you have to figure out the specific ways and places where you can utilize clipping through things. And the method for clipping through things is very hard to, like, explain and describe. You kind of just have to, like, get a feel for it. So when you're very first starting out learning Homecoming, it's super frustrating. Once you get a feel for it, and you're reliably able to start doing clips, it is one of the most satisfying feelings I've gotten from speedrunning a game. Oh, trust me, there's a lot of issues with Homecoming in terms of story and from a casual standpoint. One of my goals for my channel is I would really love to do a Homecoming playthrough with some of the writers, because I've had some nice friendly interactions with some of the developers who worked on Homecoming. Patrick J. Duty, who is one of the lead scenario writers for Homecoming. I've had conversations with him through Twitter and through Blue Sky. He's a really nice person. He's done some other people's YouTube channels and podcasts and stuff. So I've put the offer out there to him to be like, hey, if you ever want to join me on my stream for like a playthrough of Homecoming, please feel free to join me. But I would love to have Patrick come on for a Homecoming playthrough where we can talk about the story with somebody who wrote it, somebody who helped write it. Because there's a lot of issues that I have with the Homecoming story that apparently weren't going to be issues. But that game was kind of in a development hell nightmare where a lot of things had to be cut and a lot of things had to be changed very last minute. And it impacted the way the story felt. It impacted the way characters felt. It created a lot of plot holes. And I find a lot of that stuff really interesting. So I would love if we could get Patrick to come on and join me for a stream and talk about Homecoming. A writer may get worried it would be like a public execution. I think our community here is usually pretty well behaved in those kind of circumstances. But I could understand why if he wouldn't want to do it. But as I said, hopefully he would, because like I said, he's done an interview with another YouTuber and he's done a podcast with some other Silent Hill fans. So he might be willing to talk about stuff. He's done it before. Talking to Tom years later was a good thing. He was treated horribly by shitty fans. Tom is another one who I've had some really nice conversations with on social media and through Twitter and stuff. Where, yeah, Tom got such a raw deal. Like, he definitely said things that he should not have said. And people really just chewed him up over some really inconsequential stuff. But like, he was doing something that he had to do. Like, Konami was not always giving him like a budget for marketing and for press and for things like that. So Tom would just sort of be like, somebody's got to go and promote the games, schedule interviews, and go and talk about stuff. And he unfortunately wound up becoming kind of the face of, you know, the teams developing those games. So when they weren't well received, Tom was getting all the blame because he made himself kind of the face of that generation of the franchise. The same way Matoyo Okamoto is in that position now. Like, he's the new overall series producer who's kind of got his name and face attached to everything. So if everything new that was coming out was received super poorly, people would be dumping on Matoyo Okamoto just as hard. People were starting to do that initially, because remember, the revitalization of the series didn't start with Silent Hill 2 Remake on a high note. It started with fucking Ascension. It started with Ascension and Short Message. So things were rough at first. And I was like, oh no, people are going to start dogpiling these guys. But I feel like since Silent Hill 2 Remake released and was a big success, a lot of people have kind of not focused on the stuff like Ascension, and they're more focused on things like 2 Remake and F, which were both pretty damn good. 2 Remake, more so than F in my opinion. But, whatever your opinions on either game may be, those are now the best-selling games in the entire series. Silent Hill 2 Remake and F. They are now the best-selling entries in the entire Silent Hill franchise. The record for the longest time was held by Silent Hill 1. It was the only individual game out of the franchise to, like, crack 1 million copies. The new games do get people wanting to play the OGs. God, I hope Konami just give people the originals. Good old games, Steam, a PlayStation Store, a collection, an individual collection like Metal Gear Solid, something. Give people some way to play these original games other than fucking emulation or piracy. Fans fucking decompiled Silent Hill 1 before we ever got an official re-release of it. Like, 27 years since this game released. We got fans decompiling it completely before getting an official re-release. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Konami, please. Please. Just release these fucking games for people. Do you think they'll add layers to the puzzles in one remake like they did for 2 Remake? I think everything, like Silent Hill 2 Remake was a massive success, right? And you've got the same team, you've still got Bloober Team working on it. I don't think they're going to break the formula. I don't think they're going to change anything drastically that worked for them with Silent Hill 2 Remake. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The game was a huge success. It's one of the best-selling games in the entire series. I don't think they're gonna stray away from handling it the same way. I do hope they learned, if anything, like they include more than what they did for Silent Hill 2 Remake. Because, yeah, weapon roster. One of the disappointing things about Silent Hill 2 Remake was how limited the weapon roster was. No usable great knife as a weapon, no hyper spray. Having the pipe and the plank just sort of functionally be the same thing that just swaps out with each other. Stuff like that is kind of lame. And I hope they do without that in Silent Hill 1 Remake. I hope they don't cut any of the weapons. But for the most part, I've got a lot of faith in Bloober Team. Much more so than much more than I did before Silent Hill 2 Remake existed. Because for anybody who knows me and knows my channel, I was one of the biggest Bloober Team haters. I played Layers of Fear, and just based on Layers of Fear, I was never a fan of Bloober Team's games and didn't really go out of my way to play them. And then when they got announced as the developers for Silent Hill 2 Remake, I played all of their games, everything that they made in preparation, so that I could know more about the studio and their other games and everything before Silent Hill 2 Remake came out. Cheryl? I played every single one of Bloober Team's games. I didn't like any of their games that they made before Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Where are you going?
I didn't like Layers of Fear, didn't like Observer, didn't like
Stop.
Blair Witch, didn't like Medium. So I was just like, oh man, we've got this team making one of the most important psychological horror stories, like remakes, to exist, and they're terrible at writing characters and they're terrible at writing stories. The only thing that they're good at doing is visual effects, which is like the only thing I ever gave them any kind of praise for all their pre-Silent Hill 2 Remake stuff. And then Silent Hill 2 Remake was the game that changed my mind, where I was like, okay, Bloober is good at this. they are good at remakes. They're not great with writing their own characters and story, but I think they are good at taking existing characters and story and tastefully recreating them. I think they did a very good job with that aspect of the Silent Hill 2 remake. And I think as long as they keep a lot of that same design philosophy in mind, then Silent Hill 1 remake will wind up a really great game. Potentially even better than Silent Hill 2 remake if they learn from and improve a lot of the things that weren't so great about Silent Hill 2 remake. So I'm genuinely really excited for their take on Silent Hill 1. I think they're going to do an amazing job. Chronos was really good until the last, hour.
Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Chronos was super good until the last, hour.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Yeah, the story for Chronos dropped off at the very end. I had so many ideas. Oh, I forgot to start my timer. I had so many ideas of where the story was going to go, and sort of what they were building up towards. And they did a good job of sort of subverting expectations and doing different things with it. But then the way they wrap it all up, I don't want to get into too many specifics for people who still want to play Chronos The New Dawn, because I do recommend it. I recommend playing it if you haven't. I think it is worth your time. It's worth a playthrough. But yeah, after everything the story builds up towards, the ending is really a letdown. And the last little part's kind of building up towards the ending. But it's still a lot better done compared to their previous games. And I just love the style of Chronos. There was a really cool feeling to that game with the sort of robotic, mechanical nature of the characters and the way their mannerisms and speaking and everything was. Compared to the very bio-organic setting and enemies and everything else. Chronos was good. That was such a good game. I need to go back and play it again. It's just that last little part, right up at the very end. I said maybe the last hour. Started Signalis. I've heard so many good things about Signalis, and I still need to play it. Still have not played it for myself. But I know that's another game that is basically just kind of like a love letter to Silent Hill 2. Thing I don't like about Silent Hill 2 Remake is that you feel James is not going for the goal he came for. Oh, that's definitely one of my biggest complaints right at the very start. Right at the very start, they remove the dialogue of James remembering Rosewater Park when he's standing next to his car. Because the OG is just it sets up your motivation immediately. The goal is we're here, we're looking for Mary in our special place. What is our special place? Maybe it's the park on the lake. It gives you your entire memory, your motivation, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, and everything that you're doing after that, all the exploring that you're doing as James, it's, to accomplish that goal. You're looking for what road is going to go through to Rosewater Park, and that's what will eventually lead you to the apartments being the only way through. It's perfectly set up. The remake ditches that. And you do just have James wandering aimlessly until you find the record and the jukebox button and like all this other stuff. And I appreciate what they're trying to do. They're trying to give you some new puzzles, some more motivation to explore the town with kind of a natural affinity to find things that will advance you. But it feels a little more video gamey. It feels like there's less direction, less motivation. Not having James remember Rosewater Park from the very start, not until after the jukebox puzzle. So stuff like that, I agree. Those are some of the things that I hope Bloober Team kind of learns from and doesn't make that same kind of mistake with Silent Hill 1 Remake. Especially because these character motivations are not that complicated. There's a lot of depth and complexity when it comes to the narrative and symbolism and meaning behind the Silent Hill games, but like protagonist motivation is some of the most easy to understand, straightforward. I'm looking for my daughter. I'm looking for my wife. Like, it shouldn't be hard to not mess that up. I'm shopping at the mall to get my dad that thing he asked me to get. My dad, who just happens to be the protagonist of Silent Hill 1. Hey, what's up, Skulls? I'm doing all right. Good to see you. I'm just gonna get hit by everything in Midwich. Boom. Shenmue fan? Somewhat. I mean, I've played Shenmue 1 and 2. I have not played 3, though. But I was definitely somewhat of a Shenmue fan with the original games. I was a big Sega fan growing up. Like, we eventually wound up having like Nintendo stuff and Sega stuff, but typically we'd usually get Sega consoles first. Like, although I think we had an NES first, then a Genesis, and had the Genesis for a long time before we got Super Nintendo, and had a Saturn before 64. And more importantly, the Dreamcast. I was a huge fan of the Dreamcast. As said, I was growing up, I was already kind of a big fan of Sega in general. And then the Dreamcast came out, and I just absolutely loved the Dreamcast. It's one of my favorite consoles, and I started putting together a huge collection for it. And I can remember the following Christmas after the Dreamcast came out, one of my friends, really close friend of the family, who is just like this guy a little bit older than me, and he was very into computers and technology and stuff like that. And he was also one of the few other people kind of in our family circle that played video games. And for Christmas, he brought me, he knew I was collecting Dreamcast games. And he was like, "Which games are you missing from your collection?" And I kind of like told him a bunch of stuff that I was looking for and kind of gave him a big list. And he burned copies of all the Dreamcast stuff that I didn't have. And he's like, "I know it's not the same as having official stuff, but now you can at least like play everything that's available on the console right now." And just gave me this big box of burned Dreamcast games to play. Because it was so easy. It was so easy. That was one of the biggest downfalls of the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was too ahead of its time. And it was unfortunately just stupid easy to burn games for it. But because of that, I was also just playing stuff on the Dreamcast constantly. Which included Shenmue. You've even got a little bit of Silent Hill crossover with Shenmue. There's a few of the same voice actors, because Shenmue was also Jeremy Blaustein working as the localization and voice acting direction and all that stuff that he was doing at the time. So a lot of the people that Jeremy wound up working with on Shenmue, he wound up calling them back and getting them to work on Silent Hill. So Dave Shoffley, Eddie from Silent Hill 2, he does some characters in Shenmue. Donna Burke, voice for Angela in 2, and Claudia Wolf in 3. She does some voices in Shenmue. Wish we can get our hands on the Shenmue prototype for Saturn? Yeah, that's right. It was originally going to be a Saturn game. Don't think I spelled that right? Donna Burke. B-E-R-K. Burke. Burke, I think it's spelled. But yeah, Donna seems really nice. I've seen a lot of videos and stuff like that where she's done some stuff for Silent Hill fans. And she posted a few videos where she was like hanging out with Monica Horgan, the original voice for Mary and Maria in the OG Silent Hill 2. I think that was like a few years ago. But yeah, she seems super nice. And if you live in Japan, you get to listen to Donna Burke every time you're on the train. She's the English voice for all of the train stop. Like when you're on a train in Japan and you're coming up to the next stop, you'll have like the Japanese voice come in and be like, "Tsugi wa Kyoto, Kyoto desu," like telling you that Kyoto is the next stop that you're coming up to. And then you have the English voice come in right after that to be like, "The next stop is Kyoto." That's Donna Burke doing the English voice for the Japanese trains. It's one of those things you don't really think about when you think about voice acting, you know? All the stuff that you hear in everyday life that is just like a voice actor had to record those lines. If you've ever been in like a big building or fancy hotel where you get into the elevator and the elevator has like a voice that tells you like what floor you're on, that's usually a voice actor, voice actress, somebody who recorded that. At least it used to be. We're shifting into an era now where it's fucking AI voices and computer generated voices a lot too. So sad. Out of spite for AI, have been learning skills to make art. Good. One of the strongest motivators. Spite. But also I agree. Fuck AI. Be people and keep making things that only people can make. Is this a practice run? Every run is a practice run until I nail the trick first try. The only AI I like is for enemies and NPCs in video games. I mean, yeah. Clearly the discussion about AI, it's one of those pet peeve things. There's so many different instances of AI and what AI is and what it applies to. Obviously the conversation we're having is around large language model generative AI. Shouldn't have to specify that. You can pick that up from context. Just because there's always somebody who's got to be like, well, actually, AI in some situation is good. And I'm like, yeah, no, I get that. We're not talking about that. All right. Speaking of AI, we need the enemy AI of this romper to just be nice. Come on, Kevin. Come along, Kevin. It's time for us to go out of bounds. Yes, here we go. Keep up, Kevin. Keep up. Okay. Let's try that again. Come on. Oh no, Kevin. This way. Ugh. I hate when it's not close enough to do the trick, but it's close enough to push you in there and reset Kevin.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl? Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
Is the trick to have Kevin attack Harry at a certain point to get clipped out of bounds? Yes. I need Kevin to pounce on Harry so that Harry's model on the ground sort of like slides down the stairs into the next zone. And then Harry will be at the top of the stairs, leading down to the Green Line Antiques after that. But he's not going to have collision on his model. So he can run through the wall to the right of the stairs all the way to the bridge that leads back to the first part of town. And then you have to get Harry to clip into a death plane and cancel the death plane animation so he doesn't actually die by precisely falling off of a part of the bridge, which sets it up so that Harry can go out of bounds again.
What's going on here?
And run all the way to the entrance of the sewers. Holy damn, that sounds complicated. It's kind of complicated. Because there's multiple glitches. There's multiple things happening kind of each step of the way. And each one is its own, like, kind of individual trick.
What's that? Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
What's going on with that radio?
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Nub for Harry and Remake. Hey, I sent Bloober Team an email. I'm putting together a voice acting portfolio. Like, actually, legitimately, not even a joke. I recorded some voiceover for an upcoming independent game, a little indie game that's going to be coming out called My Friend the Wendigo. And I'm scheduled to do some voice recording for a YouTuber who makes parody Silent Hill videos and wants me to do some character impressions for one of their upcoming videos. So, like, legitimately, I'm trying to do more voice acting and stuff like that going forward. Lord knows I gotta do something. And I mean, I'm trying my best to maintain being a full-time streamer and YouTuber, but it's been a bit rough. Especially with basically being demonetized on YouTube now, thanks to AI scammers and bullshit like that, so I'm trying to find other things that I can do for work. And, yeah, voice acting, voice narration, stuff like that. I would love to break into. It's a very, very difficult industry for a beginner, for a newcomer like myself. Because again, right now, even longtime professionals are struggling because of how many studios are utilizing AI, or how many voice acting jobs are just like recording lines so that you can train AI. It's kind of a mess right now. But how come you've been demonetized on YouTube? What happened? I put some videos up on my channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, just look at my most recent videos. Look at the video that says AI is ruining YouTube and my life. But basically, the short version is scammers are using Silent Hill music, using AI to generate lyrics on top of the Silent Hill music. They then get their quote-unquote version of the song that AI just like spit lyrics out onto. They get it copyrighted through YouTube's copyright system and flag channels like mine that are just using the original game audio. And because YouTube is all automated, it just flags my videos as using those scammers' songs, even though it's not. It's just me playing the game and the original in-game audio. It's a scam that's been around YouTube for longer than AI. People were already doing that, but before AI, people actually had to like record themselves singing lyrics or performing the cover of the song in order to get that copywritten and then falsely claim people using the original in-game audio. But now with AI, it's people just churn fake songs out, like hundreds by the day. And they just blanket claim whatever videos they can through YouTube's automated systems. So like the song Promise in Silent Hill 2. The scammer takes Promise, they use AI to generate lyrics, they put the AI generated vocals singing those lyrics over Promise, They get their version of Promise with AI lyrics copywritten, and then they flag my channel claiming that I'm using their song just because Promise, the original song, is in the background, like, while I'm playing the game. It's a stupid fucking thing that only works. The scam literally only works because of automated systems. If you had an actual human being on YouTube's end look at the false claim and look at my video, any human being would look at it and immediately be like, this is not a legitimate claim. But because it's all automated systems, there's no getting around it. The only time you can get a human involved is if you dispute the claim, get rejected, and then file a dispute again. Because at that point, you're essentially just like setting up to try to sue the other person. And at that point, you have to start exchanging legal information, which means I have to give them my name, my address, everything like that to a random scammer in Russia or China who's using AI to steal revenue from my videos. Yeah, just give them all your personal information to push the matter further. That's how the YouTube systems work. So YouTube's a pile of shit when it comes to that. Scammers are able to fully abuse those systems, and there is nothing that I can do about it. Because outside of having all of the money to pursue like a legal case, which I don't have that money, I don't have those resources. Yeah, I don't have a rep. I don't have anybody. I don't even have a fucking editor. Everything uploaded is done by me personally. Everything edited is done by me personally. The thumbnails are made by me. Like, I don't have a rep. I don't have a manager. I don't have anything like that. It is just me, myself, and I. So it's a fucked up situation. But basically, all of my Silent Hill videos are falsely claimed at this point. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's literally nothing I can do about it. So, yay, half my income just stripped away from me thanks to AI scammers. I kind of lost my train of thought where I'm at with the run. Just spread awareness. I don't think that's going to be enough. Three Dog, thank you so much for the 88 months. Sorry, I missed that. I'm sitting here ranting. Trying to get this damn run. Hey, what's up, Nivbed?
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
But yeah, it's going to take more than awareness. Because the YouTube automated system issue has been like that.
Wait! Stop!
For like more than a decade. I've been dealing with false claims on videos. It was just... Back then, it was easier to dispute them because they didn't happen as often. And when they did happen, it was very clearly somebody who was like just doing a cover or doing karaoke over the lyrics or whatever. And usually you could dispute it and it would get taken down and it would not be an issue. Now it's so much more abusable because of how fast you can churn out the songs and the copyright process for the song, for the video. It's such a quick turnaround. And the scammers, for them, it's super low risk. Because if everything works out the way that they plan for it,
what's going on here?
Small channels just don't fight the false claims and just let them have the revenue. So, best case scenario, they steal money from people. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, their account gets banned, they just make a new one and start the same scam all over again under a new channel, under a new name.
What's that? Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio? This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Wonder if TikTok is as bad as YouTube with copyright sound? It's worse. TikTok and Instagram and platforms like that focus on like shorts and really quick short form videos and things. Man, that shit's basically the Wild West when it comes to copyright. Like, there's nothing in place. People just rip each other's videos off wholesale. Like, steal an entire other person's video and then just stick like a different music track under it, or they put their stupid face down at the bottom, like pointing up. Like, this is me reacting to the video. I'm nodding and pointing. Like, people steal shit just much more blatantly on TikTok and Instagram. Oh, shit. It did. I just realized